Hello and welcome to video number 4 in this series, Why Social Media is Good for Your Business. And this little section is going to whiz through 13 social media benefits that I don't think any small business can afford to ignore. So let's dive straight in and think about branding very quickly. It's a great and easy way of creating a recognizable identity for your product or service, and which is very important for any sort of small business. If you've got a limited budget for sort of printed materials and fancy logos, then social media is a great way of delivering this branding benefit to you. Create a buzz. Social media allows you to create a buzz, and the main reason that it allows you to do this is because of the interaction and engagement that you get with people. It's a two-way conversation, and traditional marketing cannot give you that. Reputation management. It's a great way of keeping an eye on what people are saying about you and what they think about you. Back in my PR agency days, we used to have to spend, it would take us 6 months to a year to do proper research to find out what the reputation of our clients was. And it wasn't that we were bad at it or anything. That's just the way it worked in those days before social media. Now we can get this kind of information on a daily basis if we want to. Word of mouth has always been a hugely important thing in marketing and selling, and social media allows you to really jazz it up and extend the word of mouth concept in a digital format and reach people that you maybe could not have reached any other way. Allows people to recommend you and give you referrals in a way that was previously unheard of. Social media allows you to get up close and personal and have a direct relationship with individuals who follow you. Which you can't do with a traditional ad. You can't really do with a poster, and it allows you to converse, get to know, and more importantly, let potential customers get to know you. Big companies and small companies can now compete on equal terms, really. Obviously, a bigger company might have a whole department of people tweeting and posting stuff on Facebook, but the actual technology does actually give you a level playing field, and there are numerous examples of very small companies stealing a march on much bigger competitors through using social media, and it allows very small companies with very small budgets to get a lot of traffic to their website just through using social media. It increases your linkability, which is great for search engines. A great post on social media will give you natural links that are sending traffic to and from your website, which means that it will not only bring traffic to you, but it gives Google a little message that there's something going on, there's a buzz about you and your brand, and it can help increase your position in the Google rankings. It's much cheaper than traditional marketing and advertising. When you consider that a small recruitment ad in a local paper can cost, between £800 and £1,000, you can see why people are turning to sort of social media more and more. It doesn't actually cost you an awful lot of money, and if you do it well and you really sort of roll your sleeves up and get stuck into it, it doesn't actually cost you. Doesn't have to cost you any money at all. It does take time, however. It will eat time like crazy, but you just need to sort of weigh up what the benefits are to you on this. But there's certainly nothing like it in terms of it just doesn't compete at all with the kind of money that it used to cost to sort of get into magazines and newspapers. So it is not to be sneezed at. It allows you to niche beautifully. and you don't have to have a general message going out to a general audience, because what you end up with is sort of general results. And one of the great things about all digital marketing techniques, not just social media, is it allows you to drill right down into very sort of specific market sectors and communicate with very specific types of people. And of course, then the beauty then is you can create specific messages to suit those kinds of people, and you will find that your results are much, much better. It makes life, social media makes it easier for people to find you. I'm thinking about my own LinkedIn profile. If I put in my name, put my name into Google, Jackie Harris in Cumbria, then I find that people that my LinkedIn profile comes ahead, will appear in the listing ahead of my own website. And that's not because I've got a rubbish website or anything. It's just because of the power that LinkedIn has in terms of Google rankings. So it's worth having, just because it's another place on the web where people can find you and check you out. Social media lets you explain yourself. There are situations where, an old boss of mine, let's put it this way, an old boss of mine used to say, if you stick your head above the parapet, somebody's going to take a pot shot at you. And that's also true of social media. You can't expect everything to be, love and harmony all the time. And occasionally somebody's going to say something that you're not keen on. But what social media does do is gives you the opportunity to explain yourself and justify yourself, or in the rare situation where the client or the person posting a negative comment is justified in doing so, it allows you to apologise and learn from the experience and move on. A lot of people are a bit afraid of social media because they're worried that there's going to be negative comments. Actually, it happens less often than you imagine. So, don't worry about it too much. And if it does happen, then you just have to, act appropriately and explain yourself. Find out what people want. It's a fantastic tool for finding out what people want from you. So with these, the 13 reasons that I've got in this video, and there's one more to go after this, plus the 5 that I mentioned in the previous video, you can kind of see that social media is really a fantastic tool. But one of the greatest things about it is that you don't have to sort of sit there in isolation and wonder what people want from you. You can just ask them, and they'll tell you. And the last point in this little video clip is to say that your customers can get involved. Social media is great for letting your customers play an active role in the business. So instead of having to sort of spend money on hiring market research firms to run focus groups, you can actually do that directly in a Facebook. You can set up a Facebook group, you can set up a LinkedIn group, and you can let them offer suggestions and get involved in the process of developing new products. It's never been easier to get that kind of direct feedback. So that's it for this particular clip. In the next one, which is the last one in the series of why social media is good for business, is essentially we're just going to round it all up and just sort of talk about what the bottom line is here. So hopefully see you on the other side.